everything we're doing is months late.
I was gonna say everything we're doing is late. But you know what, Chris?
What?
None of what we're doing is as late as the release of the next album.
Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Jeff, and welcome to the Sound Judgement podcast.
Where every episode, we'll be discussing all of the important musical topics, from reviews to which member of Motley Crue is the most vile.
I'm gonna judge the officials. I'm gonna judge all the judges. It's gonna take you people years to recover from all my opinions. How many years did you wait?
Jeff, this album was announced to fans in 2006. It is 18 years old. This finishes a fucking story arc in my life. This album, before it was out, could vote and die for its country at war.
I was just gonna say that the wait time for this album can vote. That is incredible. We are, of course, talking about Time 2 by Wintersun, the project by Jari Mainpa. Any idea how to pronounce his last name?
I'm gonna say yes. I've said Mainpa.
I have. I'm gonna say Mainpa. We're gonna call him Jari because everyone just knows he's Jari. He is Jari from Wintersun,
formerly from Encephalum, who went and started his own. Left to work. On Wintersun. He put out 2 albums with Encephalum, and then he went and put out the debut album, also called Wintersun, in 2004. It was a fun, symphonic melodeath album, and it was pretty popular and well-liked within the genre. And then he returned to the studio, and no one could have predicted what would unfold for the next 20 years. Holy shit. Because as early as 2004, Jari was talking about the songs he was writing for Time, and the influence of the Japanese music on the album he was writing. So for all intents and purposes, the songs that are collectively known as Time were written in 2006.
Oh my god.
Supposedly recording. I don't know if they mean demoing or if these were this was actual studio time that we hear on the album. Began on May 2nd, 2006. And they said on their... Now, I don't knock the early years because bands communicating with fans on forums was a weird time in 2006. You know? This was a situation where Jari popped onto a Wintersun forum and said he hoped to release the album at the end of the year. So I don't think anyone really faulted the guy for talking about this album, that he was a concept album and it had 200 tracks and it was over 65 minutes and he released the track listing, right? That's kind of optimistic. I'm not sure if anyone was surprised by an early delay, right?
Yeah, exactly. Delays do happen.
But supposedly, recording for the core songs, the bass, drums, guitar, and vocals were finished by April 2007, and the problems arose in mixing. At first, he said the band was having trouble getting time scheduling studio time to mix. The track was too much. The tracks were too much for him to do on his home computer, and he's tried scheduling mixing time, and I guess the studio was booked. But even at this point, Jeff, we're looking at a 7-song track list, right? Sons of Winter and Stars, Land of Snow and Sorrow, Time, Fire, which became Way of the Fire, One with the Shadows, Storm, and Silver Leaves. And if you look at that almost hasn't changed between that and the final release. When the first delay happened, he said both albums were getting an intro track and a intermission track, and that's pretty much what happened. Otherwise, what we're seeing on these albums is what he wrote in 2006 and 2007.
Oh my god. So I really do think this was at least in some capacity written almost 20 years ago.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think the people who say that the album was a con and never existed probably didn't see on the early years that these song titles are the same song titles he put up in the forums in 2005 and 2006.
Oh my god.
The problem, Jeff, was never that the songs weren't written or done. It's that he wanted to add more layers for 20 years.
Yeah, I know there were a lot of debacles about having Kickstarters and raising money and building a studio and just all sorts of insanity that...
A lot of back and forth on the studio thing.
Yes. So, you know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
Are you aware of Mighty Number 9? Do you know what that is?
Yeah, that was a movie, right? Or not? No, that was a video game that was based on Mega Man.
Yes. So it was by Keiji Inafune, who was a Capcom artist and illustrator, and then he went on to do character design, and then he went on to be a producer on a ton of the Mega Man games. Like, that's like his thing he's known for, is a lot of the Mega Man series, right? So when Capcom was basically just like abandoning the entire Mega Man IP, he comes out and he's like, "Hey, I want to make another one. I want to make a spiritual successor to Mega Man. Right? Here's my idea. Here's what we're gonna do. I want to make this." And there was a Kickstarter, and it raised a ton of money, and then it was delayed, and then it was delayed, and then there's no communication with the people who donated money and whatever. And then they released a trailer that was apparently so bad that even the Sonic Twitter decided to make fun of it. I don't know what they said. I just know that that's the thing people talk about, is the Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter made fun of how bad this trailer for this game was. And I know the trailer is just like super cringy. It has a guy just like saying a bunch of stupid, like almost 90s tough guy kind of shit. Just like, "Check out those explosions," like that kind of shit. "Look how fast he's going." I know at one point it literally uses the line, "Cry like an anime fan on prom night," which is just
remember that.
Which is just like attacking the fan base here. Like, let's be real here. Not to mention the fact that the fire explosion graphics look terrible. Here's the thing about Mighty Number 9, though. As a big Mega Man fan, I knew none of this. I knew none of it was happening. It finally came out in 2016, and I don't know if you remember what my life was like in 2016. I was in the middle of this like multi-year long rut of I'd get a job, and then that job literally closed a few months later. So then I got another job, and that job was bought out by a new company. So like I spent portions of like 2013 to 2017 unemployed. So 2016 was this period of time where I was like driving for Uber and just picking up every stupid paying banquet gig I could find. It was miserable. I was completely unaware of all of this. I was not caught up on anything.
And that's when they called you in to record the Mighty Number 9 trailer voice.
No. So no. But like albums that came out during this time period, video games that came out during this time period, I missed all of it. I have no idea. All I know is that one day, probably like a year or two later, I'm browsing the PlayStation 3 store, and I see this game that's like, "Oh, hey, this looks like a Mega Man clone. This looks kind of cool," and it was on sale, and I bought it, and Chris, I loved it. I love Mighty Number 9. I was completely unaware that people did not like this game. I was unaware it had any connection to the actual Mega Man series. I was unaware of the delays, the lack of communication. I had no idea it was a Kickstarter game. I just saw a cute Mega Man copy, and I thought it looked fun, and damn it was. I had a great time.
Jeff, you gotta lower your voice. The Mega Man fans will lynch you for this opinion.
I have posted this publicly before, and people get so angry about me. That is how I feel about Time 2.
Is it?
It is. As someone who was not actually invested, right? I did not care. If Yari never released another thing and he just continued to be an asshole online, fine. Go for it, man. You're a piece of shit anyway. I like some of your other music. It's fine. I had no investment. I did not care. So when this album was actually coming out, I was like, yeah, you know what? Sure, why not? I'll give it a shot. And I really love it.
Time 2's great.
I love it. It's so good.
I love this album.
But now, was it worth a 20-year wait? Absolutely not.
No.
But as someone who wasn't waiting, it's fantastic.
I got the ultimate revenge because I got the record one day before the release date.
Ooh.
So he may have pushed it back 18 years, but I'd like to thank Nuclear Blast for pushing it forward one day. Okay.
Beautiful. You got 1 day back.
I got 1 day back from Yari. But I put it on and I had to do this thing where I get it and I'm like, all right, let's temper our expectations. because now 12 years, because Time One, we kind of skipped this part, but the album was split into two parts. Time One was released in 2012. Do you want to give a quick review of Time One, Jeff?
Okay, Time One is take symphonic power metal and make it as over the top as you can imagine. Right? Like, imagine what Bohemian Rhapsody probably felt like in the 70s. That's what Time One feels like. It is just, I can fully understand some people would hate this, because it really is just like an overload of orchestration. There is so much going on of all different things. It's very folky symphonic metal. There's a lot of, I mean, it like opens with like a harp line going on. It's also all fairly digital. Like, I don't think most of it was recorded on like authentic instruments. I don't think he hired an orchestra. No. It's all those like synth sounds, which again, if you don't like that, huge turnoff. As someone who personally loves that kind of thing, it is just this, it's like what, 45 minutes long probably. It is just like under an hour, but of just like complete bombastic, all over the place symphonic metal. The guitar playing is phenomenal. The riffs are incredible. His voice is unreal. He has his typical like melodeath scream, but other times he gets this real big, wide, throaty, open singing. Oh my god, it's incredible.
Man, Time's a good fucking album.
And Time is a phenomenal album.
Both parts are great.
And Time 2 takes that and just continues. Like, it is just more and more of what Time 1 was.
I think, and maybe it's because the first album was just like three songs and then the intro and the interlude. And this one, like with that fourth song, you get a little bit more meat. Plus, I think of Time 2 or of Time 1, I think like Sons of Winter's a song, Stars and Time are like really strong songs for me, and Land of Snow and Sorrow is fine, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, I get that.
So I feel like this one overall, I mean, you get 4, I'm gonna say, real songs on this one, and I think all 4 of them are better.
Okay.
I think it's the stronger release of the two.
I would say so. Again, if this is what you're looking for.
If waiting 18 years took the wind out of someone's sails, I would not begrudge them one bit. But I'm saying,
if it's also,
if you held out, or if you don't know, I don't know if I can say worth the wait, but it's definitely not, something to be slept on.
Yeah, if this is someone's introduction to the band Wintersun, I think they're in for a huge treat. Having both these albums, this full concept that overall is about an hour and a half long, this full concept has been finished and realized. Now again, I don't know. I have not looked at what reviews of this album are. I don't know if people are liking it. I don't know if the fanboys are praising and other people are hating it. I don't know if people are complaining about how like synthesized it is. I can fully imagine this is the definition of what some people would call overproduced.
Yeah. Well, metalheads are picky.
In this context, that's what I want, right? Like, I want this to be overproduced. This is the definition of, like, no, Yari, you put as much shit in there as you want, right? Fill me up, please. I am open. I am wide open.
So
shove it all in me. I want to be choking.
So you say you approve of waiting 18 years to add more backing tracks? It's a good move to you. It's a good move.
Okay. Now, do I think it was worth it? No, probably not. That's insane.
What if I told, would it sweeten the deal, Jeff? Would it sweeten the wait if I told you that along with this, if you got like the digital deluxe package, you got a redone version of Time 1 with more backing tracks?
That's beautiful.
He said that he's not putting it up online, but he released it to the fans with this, and he said this is basically what I wanted the whole album to sound like.
No, I want that.
It's mixed a little bit more like Time 2. I can send it to you.
No. I want that. I want the full Time 1 and 2. I mean, is it available for purchase still? Or did that have to be like a pre-order thing?
I think it was like a Kickstarter thing, like an indie.
Yeah, okay. See, I didn't know that. No, that's fantastic. That is incredible. Again, was it worth, like, does this sound like 18 years worth of work? No.
No, well, okay, no, but also, again, this is one of those things where I can't begrudge him in the early years. You couldn't have made this on a 2006, 2008 computer. especially a home one.
No,
Not without a
dear
studio
God,
backing.
no.
Not without a studio backing. I mean, having heard it now, that's abundantly clear. I know we were all complaining at the time, like, what can't he do in a home studio? This.
I cannot imagine the computing power that this took to process. I don't know how many tracks there are, but this is massive.
Now, sometime after the release of Time 1, the excuses become a little bit more thin. Once Time 1 came out, it was the initial release, if you don't know, was that Time 2 would follow a year later, and obviously that did not happen.
I actually don't think I knew that it was supposed to come out a year later.
2013 was when Time 2 was originally supposed to come out, and he
okay.
said he wasn't happy with the mix and he wanted to do it again, and that's where the backlash really starts.
And then
people put up with it
later.
until then, and then that's when that happened, and then that's when the other Kickstarter happened, where he
was trying to build a new apartment or whatever.
No, he was trying to build a studio. He wanted to build a studio, and part of the studio's blueprint was that it included a sauna, and that pissed people off.
I remember the sauna bit. That's right.
I have also, and I'm not Finnish. I don't understand Finland.
I don't understand sauna culture.
I don't know, but apparently there are parts of Finland where, like, in the winter it gets so miserably cold that, like, buildings do have to have saunas in them for you to, like, not die.
Okay. Holy shit, yeah.
I don't know if that's completely factual. I'm not Finnish. Please leave Finnish comments in English in the comments, because I will not be able to Google translate them.
No. Leave them in Finnish. That's fine.
Start in English, but finish in Finnish.
Yes, perfect.
At the same time, I can understand the argument that maybe, you put the fans' money into the studio part of the studio and put your musician money into your sauna part or something. I don't know. There's got to be better ways to make this announcement.
I do remember the controversy of the sauna, and I remember even then thinking, like, isn't that just like a Finnish thing? Like, that doesn't... I remember questioning, like, I don't know if that's as crazy as it sounds, but I really wasn't sure, and again, as someone who wasn't invested, I didn't care.
Right.
I wasn't backing this on Kickstarter. I wasn't backing anyone building a studio on Kickstarter.
Right.
I think it's a phenomenal album, but... So, like, okay, here's the thing. If there were a Time 3 coming out, now having seen what he's done with 2 incredible albums, I would back a third.
Yeah.
But having, at the time, only known Time 1, and having the same thought process a lot of people have, it's just like, I hear what you've done already. What else are you trying to do? Like, Time 1 is already a massive undertaking.
Mm-hmm.
I see now what he has done. Now, that being said, I don't have a whole lot of specific individual notes, because I really do think, and this is one of the rare times I will say this is an album that I think needs to be listened to in its entirety.
Yeah.
Like, this is... you need to treat this as a single piece of music. However, I have a question. On the track Fields of Snow, the opening track.
Yes.
What the hell is that lead synth sound? Because it sounds like a duck quacking that's just been edited. It's through most of the track.
Are we talking about, like,
the
it's
melody?
Supposed to be like a Japanese, like, guitar or something like that? I think it's supposed to be some kind of Japanese string instrument.
And I imagine it probably is supposed to be, like, a recreation of some instrument. It just sounds ridiculous. I love it. Don't get me wrong. But at about 120, the lead line there just sounds like if you took a duck quack and just, like, added a shit ton of reverb and a flanger to it. It's beautiful. It's a truly beautiful thing.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of individual notes on it either, but the entire thing
I don't think it needs individual notes. It's very much if it sounds like something you're gonna like, you need to give it a listen.
Yeah.
But if it sounds obnoxious to you, you're gonna hate it. And if you're put off by how long it took, like if you were a backer, you're gonna hate it just because you're already, you have a bad connection to it. I get that. I absolutely get it.
All right. So initially, my plan was to put this off for like 18 years, releasing it. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna release the review, Jeff, And then in like a couple minutes, we'll wait a second and we'll give our final thoughts on it, and we'll release that in 18 years.
That's the worst.
Okay.
Okay.
We're not actually doing that though. I'm done.
I figured. Okay. I mean, because I knew we did 2 albums here, and I knew we were going to do them fairly quickly because just I don't think either required a ton to be said. Honestly, I think they both needed experiences, said
Jeffrey.
more than anything.
Okay.
So what?
Yeah.
What?
No, nothing. You
Are
were
you there?
going in and out on me a little, and I was trying to. Hello. Hello. Are we both gone now?
Hello.
Hello.
No,
Hello?
I hear you. Hello. 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 Hello.
Okay. Okay. Hello. Hello.
Christopher.
Hello. Hello.
Christopher.
Hello. Jeff.
Are you there?
I am.
Oh, you like actually lost me. Oh no.
I actually lost you for a few minutes.
Oh.
Are you there?
Hi.
Hi.
Yes.
Are you there? Hi.
Yes.
How are you?
Are you done?
I
Do you
hope
hear
so.
me? Please
I can
keep
hear you now.
all of this in. Please keep all of that in.
We'll see. I'll see how well it works.
Christopher. Christopher.
I'll release that part in 18 years.
Christopher.
Yeah.
What else have you been listening to?
It's just falling apart. It's just falling right apart.
What did you just say? Alright, I'm totally losing you.
I said this is just falling apart, I said. Oh my god.
I don't know what you just said.
Jeff!
On my end.
Jeff!
On my end.
I've
I'm
been
so glad
listening
this
to
is being
Wintersun.
recorded.
I've been listening to Bruce Dickinson.
You're
I've
gonna
been
hear
listening
this.
to quite a bit of Living Color. Halloween's
You're
coming. I've been playing some Misfits.
I need you to know something.
And you can't hear any of this. You'll
I
never
can
know.
hear you. No, I
Oh,
hear
okay.
you perfectly. What I
Okay.
heard a second ago, though, before you started, you were like roboting out. Like the connection was bad. And I heard you say, what I heard was, Jeff, I'm so full of cum. And then you totally cut out.
I don't think I said that, but
I'm sure you didn't, but that's what I heard.
I'm done. I'm done.
Good. Are we done? Am I just signing off? This is
Tell me
become
what you've
such a
been listening
nightmare.
to. Get the fuck out of my life.
No. No, I feel like it just needs to end here now.
Piece
Because
of
now
shit.
I can't finish this.